Hello, everyone. So today I have a build I've been wanting to do for quite a while. I have what I'm going to call a graveyard build for you. That being said, you see I'm working on a building. So this graveyard will have a mausoleum, which is going to be the main focus of the build, and a graveyard as well. So, um, it's been a build I've been wanting to do, and what pushed me to finally go ahead and do it was I am doing a personal legacy gameplay, and I'm also doing an occult legacy gameplay here on the channel. So I figured it was time to sit down and actually build this graveyard that I've been wanting to do for years. That being said, I was almost done with this build when the new expansion pack leaked. So, this was not built with that in mind at all. And I'm thinking I may go back and update this lot with the new expansion pack if it looks like there'd be useful things. So, it just depends on what comes in that pack and, what we end up being able to do with it. If it allows funerals, I might add something for that in here. If they have, more like gravestones, maybe that. So, yeah, that's kind of the plan, and I'll have it labeled updated for. I think I'm going to go back through some of my other builds too and update them as well. There's just a couple I know I probably won't do as videos, but there's a couple I'm thinking about. So let me know in the comments below, one, what you think of this build, and two, what you think about me going back and redoing some of my older builds and updating them. Okay, so the mausoleum for this build is really the focal point. This is where most of the family is going to be put. I kind of left the graveyard for like friends or whoever, random gravestones I find, urns I find, things like that. But the mausoleum itself, the majority of that is going to be for the legacy family I'm playing. Now, when it comes to the occult challenge, it will probably be used a little more for those outside of the family as well, just to kind of fill it up a little bit more. I'm only doing 10 generations there, and honestly, for my personal one, I don't know how long I'm going to go with it. So I may just, keep going. I'm also considering, after the occult one is done, doing another legacy challenge on the channel here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do just a normal, generational one, or if we're going to find something fun to do. We will see. It'll be a little ways off before I end up doing that. So, not, just kind of thought process, but nothing that, we're going to be worrying about anytime soon, as I'm sure this occult challenge will take at least a year or two. So, that is what it is. So, I decided too that, the mausoleum needs an office. If you have never been in a mausoleum, it's usually a building, sometimes they're small and just like privately owned family type buildings, um, where sometimes they are these big, buildings where you can buy a spot. And actually, these are more and more common now. In fact, my grandmother and my father are both in a mausoleum that really kind of inspired this build in a way. Like, it looks nothing like the mausoleum they're in, but the mausoleum slash cemetery, design, it was kind of inspired by that. So it's kind of fun. In fact, my aunt and uncle are going to be buying plots outside. Um, and I think it'll be just a fun little thing here. So I do want to apologize if this video is skipping around a little bit. I'm not sure if it's just my editor right now or if the video I recorded is kind of weird. Um, but if you're seeing some weird glitchy stuff, sorry. If you're not, it's my computer being weird for some reason. I actually restarted this recording because it did it at the beginning, but then it didn't do it in the same spot, so not sure what you're gonna see here. And it may just be because it's not rendered like in Premiere because I forgot. Okay, so anyway, on to this build here and what I'm doing with this room. So you can see I put in a few things. There may be some stuff that I missed. There's a few times I forgot to, unpause, or, I did edit a little bit in here. I'm trying not to do too much editing. I want you guys to see as much as possible. However, as the video is long, like next week's will be, there'll be editing. That's a warning, guys. Next week's video is going to be a long one because I finally have the Cult Village, Fantasy Village build done and ready for you. Well, almost ready. I haven't recorded it yet. So that's coming next week. As you can see, I have a theme going. I am ready for Halloween, and we're gonna do a few things for that. And I'm excited about it. I've got a few little things. I mean, we have our occult challenge that we're going to be working on, and then I'm going to be doing some more builds for you. And that's how that's going to work. So, the cemetery starts us off, and then we'll move to the fantasy village, and then we're going to move on to some homes. And yeah, I'm excited about it. So, anyway, I said let's get back to the build, and then I went off again. Well, if you watch my videos, you know that happens a lot. So, let me get into this. This room here, along with the rest of this wing, is what I'm picturing as like the family wing of the mausoleum. So this is where like my patriarchs will go, matriarchs will go, and then like the heirs will go. And what I'm thinking is in this room, for sure with the occult challenge, I could probably do that because of how it is. There's room for them. But for my own personal gameplay, they might have to spill out into the rest of that wing. Where the other wing, I could put some of the other extended family members. Same with, the occult challenge. It's really meant to be, used for all that. So, I also do want to point out how I did the rooms where you can display the urns, because we can't really put them in any shelving. It didn't really work. I thought it would be kind of cool to use these closed-in shelves from Crystal Creations, and I believe that's the pack they're from. And you could put something in there to represent the person whose urn is on top of it. I thought that would be kind of cool. The same thing within that main room or that family room I was in. Thought it'd be kind of fun to do it that way, where you could display something, since we can't really put the urns in there. And that is how my father's is. He's got his ashes, and then we have a little display area above where his ashes sit. It's kind of fun to put stuff in there. Part of the reason that, I guess my mind has been on that is my dad's been gone 20 years this year. and we did do a memorial over the summer. So I think that's what kind of triggered that. Let's really do this and get this done. And you know, I could kind of base it off that. So um, that's kind of it. And now you can see I'm just decorating the office area where you'd go in and talk to them about buying a place or or a plot or a display area or whatever. And yeah, now we'll say I'm kind of not sure how I would update this with the new pack if we have funerals. Um, but maybe put in a little area you could do a small one. Not sure where it would go, but I might do that. If not, I mean, of course, if we get funerals and can do funeral parlors, I'm building one of those at some point. Um, we'll just have to see. I'm starting to realize that doing one build a week is going to keep me from building fun things until November because I have plans for Halloween. But the good news is the pack doesn't come out till Halloween, so I'm just going to leave a couple weeks free. But speaking of builds, guys, we have 2 new build kits coming this week, and I am on vacation. So Thursday, I'm going to try to get a build up for you after the pack comes out, so it won't be a 10 o'clock release. And then I'll probably post another build on Saturday. I'm thinking the art one I'll do Saturday because I may redo my art room and build something new. There is a poll on the community tab about that, so let me know your thoughts by checking that out and voting. Okay, there's not really a poll. I think it's just more of a comment question. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that if you want me to redo the art room that I did for the Spencer Kim Lewis home. It is a separate room. Like I have it uploaded to the gallery as its own like art room. And that's what I'd be redoing. I wouldn't be redoing the one in the home. But you can always add it in. All right, so the other thing with this build is I did use the Castle Estate kit. It's everywhere. Sorry, not sorry. It just worked with my vision. That being said, download it if you don't own it and see what pops up. It might not be too bad. I've thought about just downloading it and doing another version, but I just haven't really been able to. And yes, I know I just said I'm on vacation this week, but I do have some other things I need to do besides building The Sims. So if I get time, I might consider doing that, mostly out of curiosity. All right. The other thing is, if you're somebody who loves the build but doesn't have these packs and wants to download it and, change the outside and upload it, just give me credit. That's all I ask. Hashtag me, Building Sims YT. I want to see it. That's a lot of it too. All right. So outside here, we have this nice little walled off section, and that is going to be our pet cemetery. And then the rest of it is just kind of a open area to an extent, not like really open, but that has, various plots in it. I didn't put a whole lot of graves in here for a reason. 1, you're supposed to fill it up. 2, I mean, we only have so many. So you'll kind of see me here just playing with a few things. Putting in these pet graves, putting in, some other things. I did a little more with the pet cemetery because I wanted to get the point across that wasn't what it was. So that has a few more graves in it. But the rest of it, I just put a few in and tried not to go too crazy with it. I also really wanted to kind of block off the view here, I guess. I was overthinking this, okay. So put in these trees. It looks a little funky from the world map, but if you don't care, I don't care. I just thought, the Spencer Kim Lewis's or whoever you have in that home, overlooking a graveyard probably wouldn't be their ideal, location. But you can always move the goths over there. Right. Okay. So anyway, so that was the point of some of these trees. I think I went overboard. I might have removed a few that I put in. I'm not sure if I showed all of what I put in on camera. But if I did, I might have removed a couple of those. Just because it got to be a little crazy. Alright, so pond area 2, I decided I like the idea of having a nice little pond. There is still some room for some graves to go kind of on the paths leading to it. Again, I didn't want to like set out like set areas. I wanted this to kind of be a nice meandering graveyard. And I think I pulled it off. I think it looks cute. It's got, a few nice little areas. And I will guarantee you, if you own the Love Struck pack, there will be 2 Sims stargazing at that bench. Because they do that everywhere. Not complaining, I think it's cute. Just stating. So I also decided I wanted to kind of fence this off a little bit. And I did this fence. And at first, I absolutely loved it. And I thought it looked cute. And the reason I didn't use like a regular fence is because you can't put it right on the edge. So I used this. Well, I switched to this one and used this out of debug. And I love how it looks. I think it works well with the rest of the build and doesn't really block off as much either. So I did that. And then landscaping. I had fun with landscaping, guys. It was interesting. I really wanted the hills going up, but that creates some fun, unique circumstances. So played around a bit with landscaping on those, but eventually it worked out and everything was good. And it looks pretty cool. I like it anyway. So, as you can see, I went a little nuts with the pet cemetery. The fountain area there does work. I put some fountain shooters, however you want to call those. I blanked on what they're called in the game. But I put those in so that, there's something going on with that. And then just a couple of little things from cats and dogs to kind of finish that off. And then I decided to try this cute little path out. And I've been wanting to do more of these. And I thought these were really cute. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool around the pond. But eventually I realized it's not going to work and I redo it. So, yeah. Just with the rest of it having too many different paths and it not being something that would make sense having a change, I decided to get rid of that eventually. But it's still cute. It's still really cute. So I just continued this other path that I already had kind of going there. And again, with that mindset of trying to keep it where there's open areas for graves to be put. So you're just kind of, putting in some terrain paint, figuring out how I want to do some of these areas like around this fountain, and finally figured it out to an extent. And eventually I realized that this fountain is, right there, low in the ground, and I don't know why it was. So fixed that. And then just added these nice little flower areas all around. I think it's cute. I think it's a good centerpiece. Lighting at this point, just trying to put in a few little pathway lights and just kind of, add something to it because we need to be able to see. Okay. Alright, so I debated about, you could see, bringing up the platform there. I didn't like it. So I brought it back down. Just didn't look right. I thought about it though. I tried it. I didn't like it. Build tip. Try things. If you don't like them, there is an undo arrow. Alright, so back here I just wanted to create kind of a little like garden area. Maybe it's just something that, your Sims go and chill at. Again, we'll be back to they're going to come and stargaze here. That's what's going to happen. Because, I have benches. So that's what this is going to turn into. Your romantic date in the graveyard. That's what this is. Okay. I mean, come on. To each their own. If that's your thing, you can do it in The Sims. Alright. So the other thing I kind of struggled with was figuring out how I wanted to decorate this spot. Because I really wanted like a fountain. But you can't do the fountain type thing I wanted to do. So I ended up with just this one here. I think it's from Get Together. Wasn't sure. So I added that in. It looks good. It works. And now just kind of adding in bushes around. I didn't want a ton of landscaping. Because, again, room for graves. But I tried to put landscaping where it might make some sense. So added in these trees. Even though it kind of ruined the cool, like, grand opening of the mausoleum, but that's okay. It's okay. So, in case you hadn't noticed earlier, I didn't do anything on the inside right here because honestly, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So you can see I'm kind of trying to tackle it a little bit with just something. But eventually I kind of get my vibe going with it, and it ends up being a really cute little like area where you can sit and, that's really what mausoleums have. They have a lot of like sitting areas, things like that. Here, just kind of like display stuff. I was thinking like pamphlets that you might find, catalogs, maybe, to order urns or gravestones or something. That was kind of what I was thinking there with that area. And of course, the office has similar type, things to it. And now just putting in some artwork, because really this is the only area where you'd have artwork. The rest of it would be kind of bare. And that is one thing. There's, a lot of empty floor space here, just because that's kind of what, they are. Think a museum. If you've never been in a mausoleum, it's kind of like a museum. But for, dead people. Yeah, no, it's just that it gives you a lot of space. Especially if you're in like an art museum. I would definitely say an art museum gives you a good vibe of what a mausoleum's like if you haven't been in one. All right, so here's the end build result of the build, and I am going to let you guys look at the photos, and I will be right. a few photos there to give you an idea of what that inside looks like. And I did. I had a lot of fun doing this. I will probably build another one similar to this, but maybe a more modern design. Not right away. That'll be a little ways down the road, but I will probably do that in the future. Just because, then there's some options as well. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to tune in for episode 3 of the Occult Legacy Challenge on Friday. And look for the new pack builds Thursday and Saturday. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye now.